The Realme 10 Pro smartphone is the latest one to launch in the number series. So two phones recently launched, the Realme 10 Pro. This is the one that I'm reviewing. It's in the hyperspace color. And then there's also the Realme 10 Pro Plus, which looks quite amazing. I mean, in terms of design, price, features, that one I'm surely impressed with, but unfortunately, Realme did not send me one. So I can't comment much on that one, but on this one, I can definitely make a comment, and this one I've been using for about a week. I've been testing it out thoroughly, and my overall experience has been lukewarm at best. Hello everyone, I'm Ania for Fiber, and before we get on with my review of the Realme 10 Pro, don't forget to hit that red subscribe button for detailed tech videos and also turn on the bell so that you don't miss any of our latest updates. With that said, let's get started. Now last year Realme launched the Realme 9 Pro, and for the specs it offered, the features it came with, the price was justified, but that doesn't seem to cut it this year. You see, the Realme 10 Pro more or less sports the same weight and thickness, but the problem here is that the flat edges on the front and back make it a little unmanageable. Now I won't deny that I'm a fan of this hyperspace colorway and my colleagues are not, but what I'm not a fan of is that this rear panel, it catches smudges and dust quite easily and it gets annoying there. So of course, if you don't want a smudge fest on your phone, I suggest you put on a case, which thankfully Realme does supply one in the box. Moving on, at the bottom you find your usual headphone jack, a Type-C port and one of the speakers. And why I say this, because the earpiece doubles up as a second speaker for a dual speaker system on the phone. Buttons are very clicky and I found them at the right spot just as I like it. The power button doubles up as the fingerprint sensor and works quite fast and accurately in unlocking the smartphone. Lastly, there's a hybrid SIM slot on the smartphone, meaning you get the option to expand the storage if need be. But overall, when it comes to the design, I think so Realme has done a fine job. I know it is a big phone, it is a little cumbersome to hold, but overall in terms of looks or the build quality is top notch. So Realme has done a fine job, especially the thin bezels at the front. This is something that is definitely worth the praise. I mean, the chin could have been slightly thinner, I believe, but the bezels look great, and overall design and build, Realme has done a fine job with this. The Realme 10 Pro features a large 6.7-inch Full HD Plus IPS LCD display at the front that refreshes at 120Hz, and if you ask me honestly, I think it is a pretty good display. Granted, you don't use your phone a lot outside, because on a bright sunny day the 10 Pro is not a brightness champ, and that is something because of which I felt maybe Realme could have used an AMOLED panel here as well. But yes, here we are. So of course it is a good LCD panel, gets ample bright in indoor conditions. I also did not find any sort of screen bleeding around the edges, plus the phone gets wide viewing angles, so all of that is good. Even the content consumption for that matter is fine. Of course, the blacks, the colors and the contrast look much better on an AMOLED screen, but generally so, watching movies or videos on say Netflix or Amazon Prime or even YouTube, everything is okay there. Of course, wideband L1 is supported, so Full HD video playback is supported, but no HDR10 playback, so that is definitely to look out for. Also, the speakers, as I said, you get dual speakers on the smartphone, so definitely they are loud, no doubt about that, but sometimes I felt that they lacked depth, and even at higher volumes while listening to some songs or while watching some video content, I also felt that the audio was distorting at high volume, so that is something to look out for as well. One other change that I noticed with the Realme 10 Pro was that I could not download the Netflix app from Google Play, and I don't know whether this is a current software thing or what, but I had to sideload the app in my case, so that is there as well. The Realme 10 Pro features Realme UI 4.0 atop Android 13, so of course you're getting the latest and greatest in terms of software, and the experience itself is mostly lag-free and smooth. So of course, Realme UI 4.0 looks vibrant, gestures are implemented well and feel responsive upon interaction. The company has also used large fonts and folders, plus you can always customize things according to your liking. So overall, the software experience is more or less, as I said, lag-free. You get a bunch of nifty features and of course, things are smooth for the most part. Now, my main complaint with Realme UI 4.0 is the amount of bloatware, and it is a lot. So much so that the company has even acknowledged the situation and they are working on rectifying the problem, which is great. But that doesn't change the fact that the bloatware situation is terrible, plus the irrelevant notifications that you get are also annoying. I mean, those can be disabled if you wish to, but why the extra step? And as for the preloaded apps, there are way too many of them, and some of them you can't even delete. So it gets all the way more annoying. So overall, I would say that for now, the software experience is fine when it comes to the smoothness or the lag-free nature of it. But when I'm coming from Realme UI 3.0, I definitely liked Realme UI 3.0 a lot. Last year I used it. So coming from that, the bloatware situation has definitely got out of hand. That is something that Realme definitely needs to work on, and they are working on it. They have acknowledged the situation, which is great. So software experience in terms of function, well, is fine, but in terms of form, things can be better. The Realme 10 Pro is powered by the Snapdragon 695 SoC. This is coupled with either 6GB or 8GB RAM, coupled with 128GB storage. And before talking about my whole core experience, here's a look at some of the benchmark scores of the Realme 10 Pro. You can pause your screens and take a look. So given the Snapdragon 695 SoC under the hood, the benchmark scores turned out decent, and I also did not face any sort of heating or crashing while running benchmarks. And even apart from that, for day-to-day tasks, the phone was able to handle anything that I threw at it with ease. Performance was something that really impressed me, and the best part is, even when you push the phone to its limits, it does not heat. And I can say that with assurance, even when you are playing graphics-intensive titles such as Call of Duty Mobile or Asphalt 9 Legends. I mean, for long gaming durations, yes, the phone does get slightly warm to the touch at the rear panel, but that's about it. Of course, the phone is not tuned to run these high performance games at max settings in the first place, so that way it does struggle. But again, it is not supposed to do that. So if you are a casual gamer, I think you should be just fine with this phone. Now in terms of battery, you get a 5000 mAh cell under the hood along with a 33 watt bundled charger. And first up, the charging times. Well, it takes around 1.5 hours to fully charge the Realme 10 Pro, and in terms of endurance itself, the phone is a champ. So basically, the software optimization, I mean, apart from the bloatware situation, the software optimization on this phone is great. So, you know, the phone does not heat whenever you're pushing it to the limit. It doesn't lag, it runs smooth. So battery, battery drain is handled pretty efficiently on this phone. And even the standby times, I can say standby times are great. I mean, we are looking at 2 to 3% overnight. That's the max that I could remember. That's the max drainage I found overnight. So standby times are great, and overall endurance is superb on the Realme 10 Pro. So even while extensively using the phone for a day, while watching all that YouTube videos, social media browsing, video calling and all that jazz, I was comfortably ending the day with about 25 to 30% battery left in the tank on a constant basis. So as I said, endurance gets a huge thumbs up. However, charging times could have been slightly better. Now in terms of connectivity, I was also able to use this phone for a day with 5G and things worked pretty fine. Generally also, there was no network issues or call drops. Of course, the call quality itself was good as callers sounded loud and audible in the earpiece. Bluetooth connectivity with my OnePlus Buds Pro was also rock solid, so no issues there as well. This brings us to the camera, and the Realme 10 Pro features two lenses at the rear, a 108 megapixel main camera, that is the Samsung HM6 sensor. Then this is paired with a 2 megapixel portrait camera, and at the front you are getting a 16 megapixel camera for selfies. So similar to last year's Realme 9 Pro, I'm once again not very impressed with the camera performance of the Realme 10 Pro. So when it comes to the details in the shot, no issues there. But the problem lies with the color science that Realme has gone with the smartphone. And no, I'm not just talking about the saturated tones, but the loose ends in the final results. Things like inconsistent colors and HDR performance, unexpected light flaring, not so punchy contrast, shots that look as if I have applied a filter when I clearly have not, and many things here and there are what left me undesired. Of course, credit given where it's due is that the details in a pixel bin shots turn out great, but the details are on some other level if you decide to take a full resolution 108 megapixel shot. But otherwise, average camera performance, the colors look just about okay-ish, I would say. And in not so great lighting, you can't expect much from this camera system. Even the selfies for that matter looked passable when clicked in good light, while the ones clicked in low light were nothing to write home about.
So right now we are recording from the rear camera of the Realme 10 Pro, and this is the kind of quality that you can expect. So this is the 1080p video sample. You get a good idea how the HDR performance, how the performance is the day, like kind of calling so the exposure, how the support process is, and kind of what kind of stability you can expect, the stabilization. So when it is that will give me a brisk walk. So this is the kind of stability that you can expect from the Realme 10 Pro. And how does my audio sound? Let me know everything in the comments and what do you think about the overall quality in the comments. So right now I'm recording from the front camera of the Realme 10 Pro. This is the 1080p 30 fps video recording. This is the kind of quality that you can expect when you shoot videos from the front camera of the Realme 10 Pro. So as evident, I don't think so there's any kind of stabilization. I mean, I'm moving right now, but there's slight jerk in the video. So let me know what do you think about the stabilization. Otherwise, this is the kind of quality that you can get. Skin tones, definitely it looks like I've applied a filter or something, but all the filters are turned off right now. So this is the kind of quality. How does my audio sound? Let me know everything in the comments.
At a starting price of 18,999 rupees for the 6GB RAM variant, I would say that if you're a die-hard Realme fan and you've been waiting to upgrade to a new smartphone, and basically this is the one that you've been eyeing, well, I would say that hold on to your money and instead, put in 1,000 rupees more and get the 8GB RAM instead, because for 1,000 rupees more, as I said, you are getting more RAM and that is definitely much better. So go for the 8GB RAM variant with 128GB storage at 19,999 rupees. That is a much better deal than the 6GB RAM variant of the Realme 10 Pro. That said, the Realme 10 Pro leaves a lot to desire, especially in the cutthroat sub 20,000 rupees price segment, where we have already got some great contenders, including the likes of the Moto G82, Redmi Note 11T, or even the company's own Realme 9 SE, which usually retails for around 18,000 rupees. And for what it's worth, the Realme 9 SE is one phone that, despite being from the 9 series, sports a faster refresh rate screen at 144Hz and a better processor, which is the Snapdragon 778G, because of which not only can you expect better performance and efficiency, but also better camera ISP despite having a lower resolution 48 megapixel rear camera. Also, we will soon have the Redmi Note 12 series, which for sure will give tough competition to the Realme 10 Pro, so watch out for that too. Anyway, the Realme 10 Pro sports a solid build, comes with a flashy design, the performance is also good, but this is not something that we haven't seen before. Also, the camera definitely needs some tuning, so maybe a patch or two would help in that way. So maybe Realme could look into the camera performance of the Realme 10 Pro, but that's about it. Fiber rates Realme 10 Pro 7 on 10, and that was my review of the Realme 10 Pro smartphone. So what are your thoughts about this device? Let me know everything in the comments below, and as always, for all the latest in tech, stay tuned to Fiber. I'll catch you all in the very next one. Thank you for watching.